Good morning, good morning, and welcome back to Rise and Shine College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. What's up, folks? What's up? Yeah, good afternoon, good morning, whatever. Yeah, it is afternoon. Yeah, okay. The time change has got it all jacked here. Boarded up my windows. Yeah, back in the woodshed, but not completely set up correctly. So I just got the laptop out, trying to run it the way I was from the road. From the road. What's up, everybody? Welcome in Benji, Mars Jams, Scott Walker, Rob. Yep, back in the woodshed. The woodshed. Scott Walker, Rob, Sooner, Texas, Jackson Johnson. What's up, Jackson? Good to see you, man. Let's see who else we got in here. Jimmy Satterfield, Comanche Sooner, Bishop Frank, Sooners for life. Good to see everybody in here. Welcome into the show. Kobe. No slander about Texas or Arch Manning? Ah, come on now. It wouldn't be a freaking Hall of Fame show if there wasn't. What are we talking about? What's up there, Sooner Cowboys? Eho the Simp. What's up, everybody? Greg Ray. Crucifix. What's up, everybody? D. What up, D? Hankster. Good to see you guys in here. Everybody hear me okay? Hope everybody hears me okay. It sounds all good. Let's see. Glad to see everybody in here. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah, meant to be on the show last night with those guys. Uh, no cooperation from the road. No cooperation from the road. It is what it is. So it was, hey, y'all ready to shock the nation? This, hey, May Tubby 12. What up, man? I think everybody's ready to it, and you know it will be a shock for a lot of people if that's going to be how it goes. So having Oni one was, hey, Oni Kuno, man, yeah, we're gonna have to get him. I'll have to get him in here to hang out with me one of these days too. I like Oni Kuno, man. He's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun. He's my guy. But yeah, man, I don't even have the board set up or anything. But we'll talk a little bit about kind of what we were last night. What those guys were talking about last night, and kind of go from there. You know, some of the stuff that with the injuries and stuff like that. I mean, this is all training camp stuff, and I know with Oklahoma, and I mean, listen, I get it too. It's a little concerning whenever you think about what happened last year and losing all those guys to injury. Um, you're being slept on. Yeah, number one in the country. Yeah, okay. Uh, you know, it is what it is with it. When it comes to kind of what's going on, and I think a lot of people, it's just PTSD really more than anything else, which I understand. Um, but doesn't sound to me like anything that I've heard. And you know, I've been in Norman and OKC area for the last few days, and I hadn't heard anything crazy like that. That it's something that most of these injuries or anything that you aren't going to be able to get around or that aren't just going to go away. As they go away, most of it just little dings here and there, stuff like that. Things that happen in these kind of practices. I don't think that Oklahoma's immune to it, just like the rest of the country isn't immune to it. I know you've got injuries in Austin. Already lost one of their new linemen. So I saw Sark talking about that the other day. But it is kind of what it is. Got my Bet US CFB schedule booklet on it. OU page list Jim Nagy is the head coach. Really? Oh wow. Oh wow. I would not call that accurate, Benji. But there's yeah. No, you can't account for injuries. But here's the thing. This is where I think what I wanted to kind of talk about when it comes to the injuries, these are the things that you want to really kind of look at as this is where you find out how good you are as far as depth is concerned. And there better be some depth because if you think it's going to be like this early on, I mean, there's going to be injuries early on. You're going to lose some guys, and generally speaking, you end up losing people to injuries in fall camp for the season. It happens. I mean, Texas has some guys that got Baxter was out before the season ever got going last year. Along with a couple of other running backs. In the end, you found out how deep they were in their backfield. They got a lot of really good guys. Um, what I would say is, you kind of have to look at it in terms of this is an opportunity for some guys to get some shine that maybe wouldn't have anyway. And I think when it comes to OU, the guys that are banged up a little bit, I'm a little concerned about, I guess, Eli Manning, um, Eli Manning, Eli Bowen. Uh, you know, not it doesn't seem like it should be that big a deal if it was just a minor ankle injury in the spring, but apparently there's something up there, and maybe it could be just more precaution there, and they're trying to see who else they're going to be using and who's going to be good. But listen, it could be it just kind of is what it is. Um, Allegedly Nuss is injured. Yeah, I don't know. I was watching the SEC squad on the way in last night, it, and they were saying I don't know. I think he's still there. Everything I've seen, he's been still practicing. So it doesn't. I don't know if it's an ACL thing or what's going on, but could be. But I would tell you this. You want to talk about pretty serious. That's it. Without Nussmeier, what is LSU? I mean, I like their backup guy. I mean, he looked really good at Mississippi State last year. But I don't know that I would be ready for him to take over for Nuss. Um, I don't know. Kind of is what it is. But, you know, we all, being an Oklahoma fan, you know what it's like to have some serious injuries and to have a bunch of them over the last year. So I understand the PTSD stuff. I would tell you it's not as big a deal as what it's being made out to be. Cortland Guillory, yeah, man, dude, this guy is a dog, straight up dog. I was looking at what Big Trap, did that little video about him or whatever, and I just remember him being there back in the spring and talking about it. It was pretty wild, right? Um, I don't know what's going on with Tech. Sounds like Cooper Hackett is all but committed. Yeah, I think that he wants to be a Sooner. Um, I think what's going on with Oklahoma recruiting has everything to do with the negative recruiting that's going on about Oklahoma right now. These are things that you're not going to fix until after you get out there on the field and prove that Brent Venables is going to be around. Um, we've talked about the fact that there's probably not a lot of excuses for him to not win at this point, and so if everything all around the country, and everybody that I've talked to this entire trip has this first thing that they ask, is he really on the hot seat? Is it blah 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 blah? Yeah, I think that he kind of is, but I also don't think, I think K. Chris made it pretty plain when we talked last week on the show. I think Saturday night or whatever it was. Yeah, I think if you want to look at it 100%, I do think he is. I think he's probably. I think that the fact that Joe C announced his retirement, I think that none of this stuff. There's no coincidences in anything, but certainly not in college football. And I think that he's going to have to go out there with the guys that he's got in the room. He's now in year 4. There's nobody on this football team that wasn't recruited by you and your staff. They've given you all the resources you possibly could need. They want you to go out there and win. So now, by doing that, I for however hot it may be in Norman, and believe me, it is hot. Um, but I think what K. Chris said makes a lot of sense. I expect them to go win. I expect them to go win. The talent level is just too good it, with this program. It just is. And we're talking about on the offensive side too. We've talked about it a bunch that I don't think it's going to take you being a top 10 or 15 offense in the country. I think you have to be somewhere in the top 40 probably. With the defense being what it is, I think you need to be somewhere around the top 40. And that's going to put you into situations where you're going to have a couple of close games here and there, I think. But I think once they get settled in, you're liable to see this team really kind of blow up and do amazing things. I'm not ready to sit here and predict 11-1 or 10-2 even necessarily. I'm certainly not going to tell you that they're going to go win the national championship this year, but there is an opportunity for it to be a special season. So, what is the number of wins that you have to have if you're Brent Venables? I don't know. I think that 8 definitely they're going to want probably to see that 8. I think 7 could save you, but it would still be boiling hot if you don't win 8, 9, 10, getting to the playoff. I think they want to see it starting to, at the very least, looking like going into 2026, you are a favorite to win the Natty kind of deal. You know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah, top 40 and top 40 on top 10D, you're competing in every game. Yeah, and I think you're blowing out a lot of teams too. Well, the other thing you got to remember, as much as I think that the schedule, there's a lot of talk about the schedule. I think Onikuno was on the money with this one. When you start talking about this schedule's brutal, all that other stuff, it is. And I think that by and large, a lot of people in the SEC want to talk about things like a lot of people in the SEC, they want to talk about these things like that it's just too much of a schedule for you to, a good season could be 7-5 and you're still a lot better, but you're still 7-5. I don't think that that's okay at Norman because, and I agree, that's what Onikuno said. No, I think 8, 9 wins is an expectation, and it's a fair expectation at this point because I think even if you did have to go to a backup quarterback situation with Hawkins, I think you should be fine, right? I do think you should be fine. I'm not saying that I think that's going to happen, but I think at some point, if Oklahoma is going to get to where they need to be this year, I think there's going to come a point in the season where Michael Hawkins is going to play a role. He is. He's going to have to play a role, and he's too talented to not to be afraid of that. So I don't even know that excuse is going to be good enough for them to not kind of take that step to where you look at like at least by next season you're competing for a national championship. You're one of the people they're talking about. Now, just because the coaches poll doesn't have Oklahoma in it, hey, whatever. The last time the coaches poll didn't have Oklahoma in it, they won the Natty. So we know that this thing isn't always correct. But just watching the SEC squad guys last night, those guys still don't really trust or believe in OU, and they don't trust and believe in Brent Venables. I think that was evident, during SEC media days when they, talked about him the whole week, and then turned around and picked him to finish 10th. I was on the show with Bomber and them the other night, and they had, out of all the people that are on the college football mafia, a bunch of them had Oklahoma finishing as low as like 13th, which is insanity. It just told me that they weren't really paying that much attention. And the truth is, most of these creators, wherever they may be, don't spend a lot of time paying attention to anybody other than who they really cover. I think the SEC, some of those creators want you to believe that they pay attention to everybody. I would tell you that not necessarily that's true. And I like most of the guys that cover this league. I really do. I think most of these guys, by and large, do pay a lot of attention. You talk about the, SEC Unfiltered and Southwest 16. Some of those guys. I mean, I love Crane and Company guys. All those dudes, and they're not sleeping on them. On 3 kind of covers everybody, and you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. But I think the expectations are in Norman. I don't care what they are everywhere else. I think in Norman, it's to go win. I think it's to go win, and they hear every little thing that's being said about them out there, and guaranteed they're not happy about having people believe that about them. You don't agree with a lot of what CF College Football Mafia puts out? Yeah, I mean, I like those guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on them. But I think that, for instance, Bomber got a little upset with me. I don't think he was upset, but he was like, be nice or whatever. Whenever I kind of win it, what's his name? Gygax. He had Oklahoma finishing 13th, and he had Tennessee finishing second. Make that make sense. I mean, anybody who's paying any level of attention, make that make sense. What's Kobe says? Other coaching staffs aren't talking to recruits about their staff being on the hot seat. I don't think Oklahoma's talking about being on the hot seat. Oh, you're saying that other, yes, they are. Yes, they are. Other programs are absolutely telling recruits that are looking at Oklahoma that they're not going to be around. You know that for a fact. Come on now. Tennessee finished in second in what? Track and field. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They literally and I kind of gave him shit about it. I told him I thought it was lazy. He was being lazy. Name the recruit that said it. I don't have to name the recruit that said it. Why? You literally don't believe that that would be something that would be said? That these coaching staffs won't say things like that? Do you have any idea about recruiting? Do you know how this thing works? They get paid on who they can get to come to their school. There's nothing they won't say. Nothing. Come on, man. What's up, T Boomer? Good to see you, man. Phil Steele and Josh Pate currently has Oklahoma as a top 10 team, so not everybody is. No, I know, and I know that. I think that now, but look, there's a difference in, think about it. The other morning, whenever I was on, and you had Stat Guy in here talking about the first thing when he started off, he was talking about if they both finished 9-3, these rankings would push them past Oklahoma. He didn't even say anything about the fact that OU and South Carolina are going to play each other. So if they were to both finish with the same record, whoever won that game is going to get the nod or whatever. If there's going to be a 9-3 team in whatever the record is, I think that was just ludicrous to even think that. But Stat Guy is of the belief, and I love the guy to death. He's one of my favorite people in the space. And I'm telling you now that Stat Guy is one of those South Carolina fans that cannot help himself but to talk shit. And what did he ended up doing? Started talking shit. No matter what, he knew that South Carolina was going to finish with a better record than OU. How do you figure that? Because they've lost a ton more people than OU has. OU has more returning production, whether it's through the portal or not, particularly on the defensive side, than South Carolina's got by a lot. And it is 9 new players that they have on the defensive side of the football. They've only got 2 guys that are returning that were starters. Some of those guys may have been in there too deep or whatever, but think about that for a second. We're talking about competitive depth. Think about that. He wants to talk about guys. I mean, they've got good players, but are they as good as they were a year ago? There's no damn way. There's no damn way. It's just wild to me. It's just wild to me that these are the conversations that we have. Zero benefit to naming names. Okay, but you know what? You're right. There is zero benefit to naming names. And why would anybody go out there and say that? But I'll tell you one thing. You're gonna tell me somebody like Like Drink wouldn't say stuff like that. You gonna tell me someone at Texas wouldn't say that shit? You're gonna tell me that they wouldn't sit there and tell you that they're not over there telling Jake Cruel that yeah, OU's not gonna be around. Why would you go there? Because unlike BNG, they do want Jake Cruel down in Austin. Come on, man. What's up there, sharpshooter? My guy. That's all right. I was a little late too. Yeah, the loss of their interior, the loss of the other side of that defensive edge. We're going to see how good they are without Kennard. Kyle Kennard was the heart and soul of that defense. And as much as I like Dylan Stewart, and I do, I think he's going to be a stud. But I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be, you don't have, now they can double team you unless the guy on the other side is all that. The difference between South Carolina and OU, though, is OU's 3 and 4 deep at every position on that defensive line. They're not. But nobody's talking about that stuff. All we ever hear about is how this is a trench league. You win in the trenches in the SEC. And we're supposed to believe that South Carolina's going to go win because Lenore Sellers may be the best quarterback in the league. And I say maybe because I don't know that he is. I like Lenoris. I think he is a stud. I don't know that he can go and win the thing by himself because you know what? Nobody does that in the SEC. And particularly not South Carolina, for fuck's sake. That's right. That's right. What's up, Jerry? Good to see you. Thanks. What's up, Shotty? Hey, what up there, Soderquist? Yeah, hit the like button, everybody. Thank you, Greg. MWG. I hate that people criticize us, but we have to prove them wrong. No, that's exactly what Shotty was just saying, and I agree 1,000,000% on that. In fact, I'm not of the belief that this is a bad thing. Let them keep sleeping. Go out there and do your thing. Go win football games. Go beat them on the field. They'll have to shut up. But make no mistake, nobody in the SEC wants Oklahoma to be what they've been in the past. They don't. Because outside of Georgia and Alabama and LSU, and to some extent Florida, the rest of the league, what have they done? What have they done? They're generally uh, Tennessee. I mean, come on, it's been a shit show forever. Forever. That's just the bottom line. So they know that coming in, Oklahoma out recruits most of them. I know everybody's all up in arms about the way they're recruiting on. We don't have to get too deep into that, but you know that Oklahoma's going to bring it, and Oklahoma believes that they're going to be right there in the mix all the time. Now you just have to go do it. And guess what? Even if it didn't happen this year, and they did move on from Brent Venables, you think they're going to just wait around for the next 10 years like RJ's talking about? Or that they're worried about being mid for the next foreseeable future. First off, that's not the way college football even works anymore. You may have to rebuild through the portal, but you can get good quick. The right guy will make sure that you do. Think about where the cupboard was a few years ago when Lincoln left, and he tried to burn the bastard down on the way out. It takes time, but it wouldn't take that damn long. It would not take that long. Yeah. Yeah, I think if I'm looking at it, I mean, honestly, I've been saying 9-3, 9-3, 9-3, but I don't even know who the third loss would be to be honest with you. I think you could drop one here and there, but I'm gonna tell you, I don't think South Carolina stands a chance in the Willie B or not. I don't think the Tennessee stands a chance against Oklahoma, even though it's going to be in Knoxville. I don't think Tennessee's going to be very fucking good. I just don't. The Bama game, I'm not going to tell you that OU is going to waltz into Tuscaloosa with the amount of talent that they have in year 2 under DeBoer and just go in there and win. I'm just not going to tell you that I think it's going to happen. Do I think they could beat them? Sure. I think that they're. I think Alabama's waiting on Oklahoma though. They're waiting for that game. What's up, my guy? How's everything going out there today? Let's see. What do you mean for the? I tell you why, because and even with that second part, the reason that's a different deal. Texas, they're not disrespected and hated on as hard because they don't win as much. They just don't win as much. But and I think even until you're hearing a lot of people saying it now about Texas, even though there's a lot of people that picked them to finish real high, right? And again, I would tell you that when the national narrative kind of starts going, it's hard to get on the other side of it. Now we could break it down, and I can sit here and throw stones and break that apart all I want to. We don't. It's not something we have to do today, right here, and I don't think we have to. But the point I'm making is Oklahoma has consistently been a winner for the last 25, 30 years. They just have been. They won more Big 12 championships by 10 than the next closest program. And so they're constantly there. They're constantly there. Well, now you get there and they've built a team in the trenches. And, because if you do what it takes to win in the SEC consistently, then that means that you've built a more complete team than Oklahoma had been putting out, particularly under Lincoln Riley. That's concerning for people, though. And it's easy to say, well, that was the Big 12, that was the Big 12. All right, well, I know that most of the teams in the SEC, again, aside from those few top ones, wouldn't have done any better than Oklahoma did in the Big 12. They wouldn't have. Texas is what separates the good from the bad in our conference? Explain that. Explain that. What do you mean? And as far as again, I'm not predicting a Oklahoma win in Tuscaloosa. I'm not. I think it'll be a good game. I think but I think that Bama is chomping at the bit to get a shot at OU again. Now, I will tell you this. OU has a bye week coming into that game. They don't. They're playing LSU the week before. It works out. The schedule, the way that they set it up, is actually not bad for OU when it comes to that stuff. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that means OU is going to win because, again, I'm not going to predict that. I think that is probably one of their losses. I can't really see. I think Oklahoma beats Texas too. I believe you should beat Michigan. I believe you should beat Auburn. I think Auburn is I don't know what to think about Auburn. Although everything that's going on about Jackson Arnold checks out for us, right? But I just think that in the end, I guess Ole Miss could be one of those teams, but I don't think they're as good. I think somebody in here just said that. I'm not sure that they're as good, right? I don't know who would pick to get them as a third loss. If I was picking, I think LSU is going to be pretty good. I don't know how good they're going to be, and you never know. This is the whole deal. If you look at LSU, if Nuss is really hurt, I think it could really hurt them, right? It could really hurt them. Could we? Zofix, you could pull a stunner. And you should embrace it. Benji, here's it. I don't think you're getting as much hate as you're acting like that's the case, but I know what you're saying. You have to suck it up and go through it. And to me, that's like I said, I'm glad that most of these folks don't think anything of Oklahoma. I keep hearing stupid shit about 6-6 all the time. Cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. Sounds good to me. Because if you gonna I mean, truth is they should go into the Red River game undefeated. And they're gonna come, and if they do, I think they're still gonna come out of it undefeated. I don't see a scenario that Texas wins this one. I don't. Not to say it couldn't happen, but I mean, it's been 25 years since they've won back-to-back Red River games. They've got a much more difficult task in front of them the week before than OU does. It's just the way it is. And if you're at that point, if you've already come in undefeated, that's going to be I think it'll be awesome, amazing game. But then you got the one thing I would say about South Carolina, and I believe Oklahoma's going to win that game. What you have to worry about in that situation though is how much energy did you have to expend the week before in the Red River game and then go on the road to South Carolina the week after that. That's tough. That's tough. Good news is that it's a day game. It's not going to be quite the same as playing them at night. Again, I think that the Oklahoma defense will probably. I think it's going to make most quarterbacks make some mistakes, and it's a matter of whether you can get out there and your offense does what it needs to do to take advantage of the mistakes that this defense is going to force. This is what they do. It's just what they do. Yeah, I hate that shit too. I think that's the dumbest thing in the world. And people that say it's laziness. And I know that's what I said about Gygax the other day, and he kind of agreed. Bomber was taking up for him and stuff, and said that was that I needed to be nice and stuff. No, I didn't need to be nice. You wanted the reality of what it was. I think the fact that you've got a bunch of people looking down their nose that don't even. I mean, you've got the people that watch the Big 12 Mafia and the College Football Mafia. They're SEC haters, a lot of them. Bunch of Big 12 folks and Big 10 folks. They don't have an SEC creator that's in the midst with them. And right now it's hell, outside of the SEC, everybody hates the SEC right now. That they want to blame the SEC for everything that's quote unquote wrong with college football. To be honest with you, I don't think there's a lot wrong with college football. I think that college football is thriving, continues to thrive, is what I should say. Do I think that there's some things they need to do better? Sure. Sure. But the money's never been bigger. And again, just like I told you guys, they're not going to be able to clamp down on the NIL stuff or the transfers. They're not going to be able to do it. Not unless they get collective bargaining, and they don't want to do that either. So until that happens, everything that we've seen from the courts is that nope, no big deal. The executive order from Trump meant nothing. It meant nothing. It was hilarious. If this team can't score more than 3 points after a bye week, it's time for everyone to go. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that, Hangster. Yeah. Sure. And to a much bigger extent. Yeah, they both got wiped off the face of the earth in those games. What's the perfect scenario there, Benji? Arkansas hates you. Yeah, they do. More than they like themselves, I think. What are you talking about? BYU's on the right track, but they have miles to go to really compete. I think they're moving in the right direction though, and Kalani Sitake has it right. Where everybody else is bitching about schedules and who does what, if you really know college football, you're not really saying that the SEC has an easier path to anything. Because here's the thing, for all that bullshit talk, and there is a lot of it, you hear it from the Big Ten, you hear it from the Big 12, not as much from the ACC, but you do hear it from there too. But why? Why are you really hearing that? Because they're fighting for their own survival. I don't even blame them for what they're saying necessarily. It is bullshit though, because all you have to really do is look at who wins the national championships. Just go back the last 20 years. The SEC runs the world. Now, the Big Ten has won the last two natties. Okay, good. Either keep that up or hush. Because until you do keep that going, nobody wants to hear it, man. Nobody wants to hear it. Because in the end, the SEC is dominating, and not even just football. They don't love it. Look at the College World Series, uh, the Women's College World Series. Look at basketball. They took over the ACC even on that stuff. The SEC is the premier conference in college sports, period, in the story. And as much as you can conspiracy theory it all the way to ESPN and money and blah, 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 uh, all you got to do is look at who's winning what. That's all you got to do. Oh, I hate them. I hate them. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they talk a lot about, and listen, I'm not hating on those guys, by the way. I think Bomber's one of my good friends in this space. And I think they do fantastic work. I really do. I think that they're certainly, though, have their biases just like they say everybody else does. Yeah. Oh, I know. And well, I was watching the Big 12 squad for about 10 minutes yesterday. That was about all I could stomach, the Big 12 squad. Because and they were even they're on this thing about Oklahoma's going to end up coming back to the Big 12. What are you, insane? It'll never happen. Never happen. Yeah, correct. Yeah. It, I'll give Cody Light credit for that one though. At least when it came to that, he was one of the few people on that, because that Drake dude that runs that show, which he's a clown by the way, he kept saying that it's better for you to go be 12-0, which is exactly what you hear out of the Big Ten, right? You're going to be that the best way for the Big 12 to get more teams in there is to be 2-11-1 teams, whatever. That's going to blah 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 blah. You need to have a better record, so don't play a tougher schedule. Cody Light said just the opposite of that. I think there's some validity to that because of what we've seen, that people can't look and they struggle to look past the records into who they played, because no matter what, 11-1 and 9-3 don't look the same. But until we're ready to start truly knowing that a 10-2 SEC team is going to be better than your average 12-0 Big 12 team. Not that I think there's going to be a lot of Big 12 teams that go 12-0. In fact, I doubt it. I think that the one thing about the Big 12, that it stayed ultra competitive. In fact, I think it got more competitive because Texas and OU are gone. Texas and OU could hoard over that league, but nobody else really can, including BYU right now. I think they're working at it. I think Texas Tech really wants to. Who in here believes that Texas Tech is actually going to become a football power? I'll wait. They're not. I don't give a shit how much money they are, how much money they're spending. That's insanity. That's true. It doesn't break as crazy as it did last year, for sure. Dave's here. I don't care about the SEC. Not scared, not jealous. Remind me who you're a fan of there, Dave? Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I think the first 2 weeks are going to be interesting. There's a lot of big games between the conferences in those first few weeks. You know, we're going to find out if Florida State. I think Castellano may have screwed them on that one, but are they able to bounce back, or I don't know. I think it's going to be tough. They got Bama. I'm going to be there watching that one. Um, so we'll see kind of what happens in that one. I think that the Syracuse Tennessee game is interesting to say the least. Uh, they've got a really Fran Brown is a good coach, man, and he's recruiting very well. Um, I think I would be surprised if Tennessee won that game, to be honest with you. And they're a 14-point favorite. Why? Why? I don't understand that one. It's the teams that are being picked so high in the SEC that lets you know that there's knuckleheads that covered that league too. There just are. There just are. Farmageddon is going to be cool. Yeah, I think it's always cool. I don't know that they needed to take it to damn Ireland though. I think you're. I think you just took two of the best teams the Big 12 has to offer and put them in a situation where by the end of the year they're going to be spent. I don't know that you can recover from that trip. The loser especially of that game. I think it's tough. Neilio's been talking about that. He's worried about it. I would be worried about it too. I would be because I think it's a bad deal for everybody. What up there, USCJ? What's up, my dude? How you been, man? Out there just throwing it out. Hey, shout out to USCJ. All love from me. But man, you got expectations are high out there, huh? I don't know. Tell you what though, I mean SC's dealing with the same thing. I heard that's who RJ was killing Oklahoma, SC, and Nebraska on his latest show. Pretty wild. Pretty wild stuff. And USC, I think the thing about USC is they are recruiting really well right now. But what's going to happen if they don't win? And I think it's tough for them to go out there and win. I like their quarterback though. I think they got a good situation with Maivia, but I think it's going to be tough. Norman, sit down. Yeah, if that happens, will they finally fire Lincoln Riley? That's a lot of money they'd have to pay. Hmm. Well, I'll tell you that OU Nebraska would be a worthwhile matchup. It would be, but Matt Rule doesn't want to play that game. And here's a listen. You got to think of this. Is what I said before. The Big Ten did, and I said that on their show. They did a very good job of protecting their big brands from each other. They've done a really good job of that. And you know, I don't necessarily blame them. Let's see. Okay, it's in there. Dave, did you answer me? Who are you a fan of? Did I just miss it? Oh, Krusty. What's up there, Krusty? Chicken back in there. Mm-hmm. He's been all butt hurt. I don't, Jack. I don't think that there's. I think Oklahoma's spending a lot too. I think it's being masked by some things right now because right now they're not in lockstep with the recruiting services as far as what Jim Nagy's doing. That doesn't mean they're not spending money. And I guarantee you, Jake Cruel is going to make his decision this week. I believe Tuesday, I think is the day. When that happens, you're going to see what we're going to find out kind of where if he ends up choosing OU, guaranteed it's going to be because the money's right. And that doesn't mean anything. I think Oklahoma's still got to go out and win to hold on to a lot of these recruits, but I think that's where they really are. And the money is being spent. Make no mistake about it. It's being spent. Emotional. I don't think he's that emotional about it. Why do you think he's emotional? Oh yeah, he's a Michigan fan. No, why would they be afraid? But and I'm not even bad mouthing. I'm not going to sit here and do this whole Big Ten SEC stuff. I mean, I think it's clear where my allegiances lie, and I think that the SEC is still the better conference. And I do know that the Big Ten is doing their best job. They're doing what they need to do to protect their league. I'm not bad mouthing what they're doing. I'm just saying the fact that you're going to sit there and talk about how the SEC does it is laughable to me. That's what I'm talking about. Bishop, it's in there. Yeah, I think it'll be. I think that Oklahoma's going to have. I think Oklahoma has a better. I think they have a better offense for sure than Michigan does. But that Michigan defense is a real deal. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think that if Oklahoma pulls away in that game, it'll be late. I think early on, it should be a battle for a while. Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, we will. And I'm pretty sure Dent. Now I got to get Marcus. I got to get a hold of him, but I know he's doing some stuff with tailgating this year. Anyway, it's something that he's already been setting up. So I expect there should be a tailgate going on with Marcus and those guys. I may get in on it with them as well, but I'll definitely be there. So yeah, we'll all get together for sure. Tech. Oh yeah, yeah. I think if you're not trying to position yourself for the next round of realignment, you're missing the boat. I think you're definitely, yeah. I think it's definitely a movement that it's important for a lot of these people to do that. You're gonna have to do something. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to do something. Well, I'm still having some issues with. I need to check the power because I need to plug in real quick. So check out this commercial from my bookie. Make sure that you get locked in for a one up to $1,000 welcome bonus for becoming for making a bet with your first deposit on my bookie. Check it out. Hey, Jason Watkins here with Hall of Fame College Football. And if you are ready to back your favorite team, the Sooners, and fade that Texas hype train every Saturday this fall, there's only one place to do it, my bookie. Right now, you can double your first deposit up to $1,000 when you sign up at hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. That's hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. Yep, 100% deposit bonus, and it takes less than 5 minutes to get started. Whether you're betting college football, rolling the dice in the online casino, or dropping a 10-leg parlay on SEC Chaos, MyBookie has everything you need. Bet anytime, anywhere, on the go, at the tailgate, or yelling at the refs from your couch. Just don't talk trash. Put your money where your mouth is. Hit that link, hofmedia.us. Are you tired of your game day gear looking like it's stuck in the offseason? Well, step up your fandom with Hall of Fame College Football's official Fanatics partner store. Whether you're a diehard Oklahoma Sooners fan like myself, bleeding crimson and cream, or you rep another one of the SEC's heavy hitters, Fanatics has you covered. Shop thousands of officially licensed hats, jerseys, sideline polos, and exclusive championship merch from the entire Power 4 and Group of 6 too. All shipped directly to your doorstep and fast. Want to gear up like your favorite coaches and players? Are you looking for that perfect tailgate tee or statement piece for your man cave? Fanatics is your one-stop shop for authentic college football gear from everybody that plays the game. So do yourself and your team a favor. Click our link in the description or simply log on to hofmedia.us/fanatics. That's hofmedia.us/fanatics. And you can shop everything that you want for the best prices of the day right on our Fanatics partner page. All right. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to hear Bishop, but I had to plug in. So sorry about that, folks. All right. Simmons has an unbelievable. Yeah, dude. That guy's a stud. Calling Simmons a bad dude. Ant Hill's another guy that I would be worried about if I'm worried about anybody from Texas. That kid's a stud, man. What's up, Sooner Fan 71? All right. Let's see. What else what were we talking about? Let me see something real quick. Hey, talk to me, Bishop. Let's see if I can hear you. I can't hear you, so hold on just 1 second. I'm trying to fix this, but it's not seeming to work out. If I had, it's not going to work, man. I don't know. I'll have everything set up. We'll have you come on tonight or something. I may come on later. All right, all right. Yeah, we'll get this all set up in here a little bit later though, and I'll probably come back on later. uh, it was a long trip. I'm not that tired though. I feel okay. I had a good past couple of days. I think there's a lot of cool stuff coming up, but it's definitely been. It was a long trip. There's a lot of road time, a lot of windshield time, man. A lot of windshield time, but it was fun. Who's going 8-4? Who's going 8-4? Texas A&M. That's good stuff. I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, that's the one that's to me. I think that's the easiest thing to poke holes in. Is this? I mean, I struggle to understand. I was watching the film guy yesterday. Now he's a Georgia guy, so I understand what he's saying. But no, they actually no, I didn't understand it because of him being a Georgia dude. But it was weird to me that they are all picking Georgia. It was like they all had either Georgia and Texas in the SEC championship again, and one of them had Bama, Georgia in it. There was 3 guys on there. But the other 2, and both of the guys that had Georgia, Texas, had Texas winning it in the championship game after losing in the regular season. I think if you lose that game in the regular season, you're not getting there because to think that they're going to go 11-1 or 10-2 with that loss on the road. The problem is for Texas, I think that's the toughest part, is that their best games are road games. Their toughest games are going to be road games. On the road in week 1 in Columbus. Then they got to go on the road the week before the Red River and play in the Swamp against Florida. Now, DJ Lagway is going to be, that's an important piece of that, but I think it's going to be tough to win no matter what, either way you look at it. So if they win that one, even, you know, I don't see them winning either of those first two, and I don't see them winning the other one. There's already 3 losses. That means you're going to have to go in and do something that nobody's done since 2020, which is win in Athens, right? To not have an 8-4 team. And let's say you win one of those first 3. Let's say you win the game against Florida, or maybe you pull it off in Columbus. I don't see that really, but let's just say you do. At minimum, you've already got 2 to 3. You're going to end up with 2 or 3. And I feel like this is one of those years that an Arkansas could reach up and bite your ass, or an A&M. I think A&M, I don't expect much out of them as far as the national championship or even winning the SEC is concerned. I like Mike Elko, though, and I think that that's the kind of game that they could win. Go in your house and just to, especially if the playoff is on the line for one of you, I can see that happening. So 8-4 doesn't sound crazy to me. It doesn't sound crazy to me for Texas, especially in view of the fact that there's so much newness there. There really is. Now, do I expect you to lose to Vandy? I do not. Do I expect them to lose to Mississippi State or Kentucky? No, I don't. I don't really expect you to lose to Arkansas or Texas A&M. I could see you losing to one of them, though. It wouldn't surprise me. And I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I don't see Texas beating Oklahoma. It's not happening this year. Bevo steak tastes good. Can't wait to try the ribs. Yeah. But the thing is, you say real talk, you do think they beat them this year? Why would you think that, though? Because they're not as good as they were last year. They're not as good as they were last year. Even if they're better at quarterback, they're not as good as they were last year. That would be cool. I wouldn't bother me if that happened. It wouldn't. Now, here's the thing. Would it surprise me if Texas won that game? Not really. They played, it'll be 3 times they've played in the last calendar year. It's tough to beat a team 3 times. And by that time of the year, that's a late game, by the way. By that time of the year, whatever Texas is, we're going to know what they are by then. And don't get it twisted. Georgia has questions also. All this idea that, you know what, let me pull up my, I don't have it right here. Shit. Let me look for it and I'll get it up in a second. But I'll tell you what, on Monday, we're going to go through, I'll do it on Big Monday. I'll have everything ready and set up again. But we'll go through, I'll make my predictions for the SEC. Shawty, if you want to pop in here and you can make yours as well, I'd love to have you on Monday morning. Let me know. Maybe we can get Brinsky or some of these other guys to come in too. And I've been wanting to get Chris Marler to come on. He's down there living in Baton Rouge now, so be able to get a little information about LSU from him. And I got to get a hold of him though. But I want to get a few guys in, some SEC guys, and do some predictions and stuff. Obviously, Big Boganowski. Hopefully, he can come in with us on Big Monday. Might even get Dent. We'll see kind of where everybody's at. But you know. It wouldn't surprise me. No, listen, man, and I'm with you on this. I think the 8-4 isn't out of the realm. 9-3, I don't think they win 10, and I just think that it sets up a little bit all their games, all those tough games. Even if they won 2 of those 4 big road games, and I'm talking Florida, Georgia, Oklahoma, essentially. Columbus, and they are on the road apparently for that game. Or no, it's their home game, right? It is their home game, but whatever. Anyway, It's not in Austin, the point being. So all those games being away from home, that makes it tougher for them. Their schedule is still light when it comes to the SEC. But if you go into the Red River and you already got 2 losses and Oklahoma's undefeated, that makes it sticky too. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like there's some little things that could happen. And the fact is, you've got a new quarterback, a new starting quarterback. Do I think that Arch is going to be shitty? I do not. I think that Arch is going to be very good. I think he's going to be very good. He's a Manning, for fuck's sake. They know what they're doing at that position. I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I think he's going to go through a maturation process that isn't always easy, especially in the SEC. And the road games are going to be tough. I mean, it's a lot to ask him for his first game as the starter is going to be at the defending national championship's house. It's a tough place to play no matter when you play them there. Penn State can't beat them for shit. They haven't beaten Ohio State in, 10 years? So it just is what it is. I think it's a tough place to do it. We're not beating Alabama and Texas. We'll take an L to one of them. Okay. Well, can you come on the show Monday and give me some predictions, your SEC predictions there, Shawty? I'll go ahead and throw the invite to you now. A Crimson rematch for the SEC championship, Hankster says. So you're picking Bama, Oklahoma in the SEC championship game? If Bama gets there, they will have been tested as well. But they're my pick to win it. So you're confident in Julian Sain making his first start ever and beating Texas? Why? Why not? He's at home. It's not the same as Underwood against OU's defense. OU's defense has a lot of people coming back. Texas's don't. Number one, OU's defense is at home playing a not, and it's not even the same. Julian's saying this is his second year. He's been through a year of college and coaching and everything, and he's at home. And Texas's defense isn't as good as Oklahoma's. I'm not even guaranteeing that they're going to lose that one. I'm saying I don't see them really winning it. Here, you know why I really think that you probably don't win it? Because Texas doesn't beat teams that are equally matched to them. That's why, little Coop, you should pay more attention to what is being said instead of just making up your own shit. It's not essentially the same thing, though. It's not. It's not even. One is on the road. He's an actual freshman, not a red shirt, playing in his second game against the best defensive mind of the last 20 years. It's not the same shit. It ain't even in the same ballpark. Yeah, that ain't ever going to happen. I don't see Georgia or Texas in the conference championship game. I could see Georgia. I don't see Texas for sure. Yeah, I screenshotted that Sooners for Life. I was just looking at that earlier. I've got that screenshot. But he's banned off my show. I don't care what he does. Hmm. At Tennessee? Yeah. I don't buy that one. I think they're going to beat the hell out of Tennessee. I was a year ahead on them. I was a year ahead on them. Look, would it surprise me if they won 10? Probably. I, would it surprise me if they were a 9-3? No, but 9-3 doesn't get you into the playoff more than likely. So I don't know. I think that they're going to miss the playoff for sure. No shit. What is up with that? I think he's just trying to play. He's just trying to play the numbers. Thank you, T Boomer. There's another thing that I could add to it. Julian's throwing to the best wide receiver in college football. Isn't Wingo going to be out? That's the other thing. Yeah. I think that Underwood, yeah, I don't know. I like Underwood. I think he may be every bit as good as what people are talking about. They're talking about him like he's Trevor Lawrence. I kind of have to see that first. And second, first road start as a college kid at all, and being a true freshman, I think it's a lot to ask going up against Brent Venables and the way he'll send it, right? I like if we're talking now, we're talking quarterbacks, and another thing that I said on that, and that Little Coop, don't bother with him because he just doesn't understand that there's layers to this stuff. When it comes to Underwood, Mateer has lots of experience as a quarterback, whether it's in the Big Ten or not, or whatever you want to call it. He's played a lot of football. He knows the system. This is year 3 in the same system. He's got better weapons. I like him in that matchup because of the fact that, look, at the end of the year, it could be a completely different. If they were playing this game at the end of the year, it might be a completely different story because now he's had a full year of getting matured, and maybe if Underwood really is that guy, I'd be a hell of a lot more afraid of Michigan at the end of the season. I'm not saying that I don't think that they're going to give Oklahoma a game. I do think they will. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's a blowout. I think they could pull away late, and I think Oklahoma needs to win that game. I'm certainly not conceding anything to Michigan and saying that, because again, this is a game that at home you need to win the fucking game. Period. End of story. And it's the way you need to start your season out. I think if you don't win that, the rest of the season gets a little shaky for Venables and co. I think it does. Why would you think that? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Okay, so you shut down Smith and got killed by their other receivers. Mbuku was all over your asses. Shut up, Little Coop. Shut up. That's all I'm trying to say, Jay. That's exactly it right there. Okay. I think they're going to be fine on defense. I'm not saying that. I'm not downplaying it. I'm saying Oklahoma needs to win the game. That's all. Thank you, Boomer Halen. Appreciate it. Could imagine Vince Young bringing another team down here to play us. Eh, yeah, I think some people were conflicted. I think some people were typical, typical Oklahoma fans about it. Um, I think it was more after the game that people were kind of over what he had to say. Acting like he just let off the gas. He did not let off the gas. He was worried. He was trying to protect Nico for sure because Nico was getting his ass handed to him, and he didn't want him throwing the ball up. And getting any more turnovers. That's for sure. But there's a lot of love for Josh. I mean, he's the last guy to win a national championship at quarterback for Oklahoma. So, I mean, we all love him. I'm a fan still. Yeah, I think it's tough. I think that's what I'm getting at, Sooner in Texas as well. I think it's a tough. Um, I think it's going to be a tough thing to, yeah. But I get what you're saying too, Dave. I don't feel like Michigan wants to come in and ugly this game up, which is, I mean, if you think about it, that's how they've beaten Ohio State the last few years. They know how to do that in the trenches. We're going to run, take the air out of the ball, take the time off the clock, and let the damn clock run. And that's how they can win, is that they can go out there and, if you turn the ball over and give them more possessions, then that's a bad thing. This is why it's such a big test for Oklahoma, I think, is because you're going up against a real deal defense that is going to make you pay for mistakes. It's going to be tough to run between the tackles on them. It's going to be tough to, I don't know, their secondary isn't quite the same. But again, I think they got a lot of guys we're going to break that down coming up real soon too. In fact, I've got to get a hold of that Michigan creator. We're going to do some work with them. Um, I had a couple of them that I wrote down. Tell me again who you like out of the creators there, Dave. That they're for Michigan guys that would maybe want to come on the show and do a show with me. You're such a dumb shit, little coot. You figure it out, bro. I don't like that little guy either. All right. I know he's a dumbass dude. I don't even pay attention to him. Might be tough. Have to be at court for work at 8:30. Oh yeah. Well, hey, I tell you what. If you give me your picks, give me some picks though. Like who? Give me your projected order of finish. How many teams do you think are going to make it into the playoff from the SEC? And do this. And we can even record something and like put it on or whatever. I just want to include you as all. Oh damn. Yeah. Wingo's not out. Hmm. You sure about that? They do have speed. They got a lot of speed. But you don't get to hang there, Brent. Fail. Can't stand your ass. You're out of here. So if we went who Oklahoma? Oh, you're talking about the Michigan game? I don't know. Oh yeah, Mays Madman. That's right. That's who I was going to talk to. I'm not sure about that, man. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything. Um, they're not really talking about it yet. Dehydrated from OU fans sweating him. I I'm ready to see who this. I'm ready to see this superhero that y'all call him because I ain't seen it yet. He's got 100-yard game. Playing for Sark, he's got 100-yard game. Ooh, scary. Whatever, dude. I think DeAndre Moore's better. Good luck with that. He didn't tear anything. It's a slight sprain. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Ryman. A nice catch in Dallas. Yay for him. Huh. ACL is not torn. That's his quote, huh? Yikes. Mature all day. It's got to be mature. I think Ott can be. He's a little banged up right now though. So we'll see. I don't know. I think you need production from that running back room. And there's plenty of talent in that room to get that production even without Jaden Ott. Before you even start talking about Jaden Ott. So I think you need production from the room in the end, no doubt about it. But I think you have. I'm not overly worried about anybody on this offense, and I know that the biggest thing that people were talking about. I wish I'd have been on last night with those guys because this constant talk about the offensive line is weird to me. The one coach in the program that you really should be able to trust and believe in is Bill Bedenbaugh. He's that guy. And they actually have depth this year. The idea that all those dudes were so bad all last year is crazy though, because it was early on, it was a struggle. Later in the year, it was not the offensive line wasn't the problem. It was the quarterback and the play calling. So, this is what it is. No, was it Tory? Or I didn't see it, so no, I don't know. Tory's been killing it. Tory Blaylock's been killing it. We're supposed to have his pops on too. I got to get back a hold of him. I'll do that this week. I'll do that today. I will never watch Chris Wheelboy crawling for BB's job and not backing down from it is unforgivable. Who is that? Who is Chris Wheelboy? Who are you talking about? Oh, praise X. He is a monster. We know that. I think he's a little dinged up right now too. I think he just set out a practice or two. Yeah, dude. I think Jackson Arnold's in trouble. I will be very surprised if he's the starter whenever they get to Norman in week 4. Because Dave Aranda's going to send everything at that kid. He's going to send everything at him. And I think that he's broken, man. When Hugh Freeze is coming out publicly saying and basically publicly telling his defense to back off, you can't do that shit in the locker room. You can't just call in your team captains into your office and be like, look, man, this is what we need to do. Even then, I think it's a bad look. But when you do it publicly, that lets you know that it is dire for that kid right now. He's scared to death. Scared to death. Woo! My man. Cherry Bear, 19-month member. Appreciate you, my guy. Boomer Sooner, let's go, he says. Awesome stuff. I think he's about to come back. Apparently, I think he's been dealing with a little injury. He's going to be all right. Oh, wait, he said that? When did he call for BB's job? Nah, I didn't hear him say that. When did he do that? I don't think that. I must have missed that one. You're gonna have to show me that one because I don't know that I've never heard him say that. Who are the future first rounders on that O line that aren't freshmen? Sexton, Simmons. I don't know that he's a first rounder. He's gotten bigger, but I don't know. I think who are some future first rounders? Isaiah Dent can be a first rounder. It when he gets healthy, wait and see. When he gets healthy, wait and see. Kevin received a membership from Bishop Frank. Thank you, Bishop Frank. Appreciate you, my guy. That's awesome. EPL. EPL is another one. Um, you said they aren't freshmen. Afalava would be another one, I think, at guard. Uh, I don't know, though. I think that they've got, I think they're all young, aside from like Jacob Sexton, and kind of is what it is. Yeah, I get what you're saying too here, Dave. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that they're still going to stay run heavy though, and in a game like that, I think that's what you want to do. Probably you want to you want that clock running, take the air out of the ball. Dominic Williams and Jaden should be first rounders. Oh yeah, but he was talking about offensive linemen. Neilio, my guy. Thank you, man. Sheila gets it. Dwight, what's up, Dwight? Jay Breeze, Fisherman, not in here talking, huh? And who else? Let me see. Lemon got a membership. Fisherman, Jay Breeze, my boy Dwight, Sheila Smith. Where you been, Sheila? I haven't seen you lately. What's up, Cole Satterfield? What's up, my guy? Said it's been a while. Thank you, Neilio. Appreciate you. Good to see you in here. Appreciate it. Oh yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta thank you, Bishop, for sending this. Yeah, Brian Kelly is saying it's tendonitis in the patella of his knee, according to Brian Kelly. So Nuss is they don't appear to be concerned about it. Not that they would tell anybody if they were. Keeping you busy with baseball. Cool stuff, man. How they doing? They doing well? Oh, dude, that's too much. What up, legend? Yeah. No, I agree. I think you're right. I think, look, man, that's what I said. As much as I think the offense is going to be really good, and it could be a top 20, top 10. Um, I'd almost rather it was between 30 and 20, just because I think that that's more complimentary as far as sustain some drives. You don't have to score on all of them. Just make sure that you're moving the clock a little bit. Be more complimentary, and I think that they're good to go because the defense is legit. I think that the people that don't realize it, and there's still some people that are sleeping on the defense at OU. I think it's the best defense in the country. I think it's the best defense in the country. I think there's a couple of question marks, is what most people aren't really seeing it. So I don't know that I see them as question marks. That hit to the back of the head and neck messed up Tatum for the rest of the year. I don't think that you're wrong about that, Bob. By the way, I was talking about that before. He didn't have fumbleitis until after that hit either. And sometimes those things linger. Concussions are, I mean, shit. I've had concussions. They linger. Mm. I like him, man. I think that Mateer's he's winning me over more and more all the time. Everything that I see, when you hear him, just the things that he says whenever they talk to him, I mean, he just none of that is contrived. You can just tell that he believes in what they're doing, and you can tell the difference in false bravado and real confidence. And I think it's real confidence with him. And he doesn't say that he never does bad against the defense. He talks shit to them and messes with them and even kind of puts little things out there in the media to poke at them a little bit. But he's doing that for competition. I think he loves the competition. I like that in a guy. Just thinking about, I mean, we were just talking about Jackson Arnold. That's competition isn't his thing. Hugh Freeze is literally calling for them to back off of the competition in practice. Like, that's going to be helpful because that's what Jackson apparently is used to. And I don't think that doing it out loud was so stupid. But that's the big difference. The big difference, I mean, it's night and day. When you heard Jackson talking last year, what did you hear him say? Nothing good. And even at SEC Media Days, I was surprised they sent him to SEC Media Days. And I mean, he gets on with JD PicKell, and you remember he kept saying that he doesn't look at he was turning off his social media and he doesn't look at it. I think it's clear that he looked at it because he was and he even said he was saying he was getting people in his DMs telling him to kill himself, which by the way is retarded. Don't be that guy. Anybody shouldn't. I mean, I would tell anybody on any fan base, don't be such a douchebag. But those people are out there. Why you're looking in your DMs is beyond me. Why they're open is beyond me. Because you don't have to have them open on Twitter. Nobody can DM you unless you allow it. So dumb. So dumb. But he was still, all the talk that he was doing about not being on social media was just that talk. He was on it. He was paying attention to it. He hears all the chirping. And that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Who's sleeping on the D? I think there's a lot of people are. They don't think that they're that good. Or they think that they're okay, but not great. You know what I mean? Otherwise, they wouldn't think they're going to go 6-6. I'll tell you that. No comment. Yeah. You don't see anything because you're a dumb shit. Cool. You haven't said anything that made sense today. So why do I care what you think? There's at there's more than one first rounder on that defense too, by the way. More than one. There's at least a couple. Dumbass. Where is that shit? You know what? Making me want to do something here. Hmm. Oh shit! About to get real now. Oh man. Oh, I won't let me do it. I'll get it worked out. I'll have the board back here soon. You're lucky. You didn't get it today. But I'll just say it. Shut up, dumbass. Yes. Yes, Neilio. There he is. We'll probably do one tomorrow night for sure. If not, and we may do another one this evening, man. I'm just kind of depends. I've got a lot of editing and stuff to do and some stuff like that, but absolutely. Why he would say, I have no idea, dude. The wildest thing I've ever seen, man. The wildest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. Yeah. And they kept running the ball. Why they were trying to like match you guys for toughness in the was dumb. They should have been throwing the shit out of that ball. They didn't really. Their game plan seemed weird to me. Yes, sir. Scared to throw it, dude. He's scared to throw it. He gets happy feet, holds on to it too long. He doesn't want to throw it down the field. He's scared, man. They broke him. Yeah. See, even Benji gets it. Lil Coop, you don't. It's weird. Yeah, I don't think it helped him, right? I don't think it's something that I would. But I think that that's the difference in. I believe that that was what was going on for him at Denton Guyer because if you look at the state championship game his junior year, they terrorized him. That was it. Westlake that got him that, or it was Westlake, right? Austin Westlake that beat him. Then the next year, when they lost to DeSoto in the semifinal, they whipped his ass too. He would, and they talked about it that they didn't let anybody hit him. They didn't like people picking him off in practice at Geyer either. I've heard these things all after the fact. So don't get me wrong. I've just heard a lot of it. But I know that he didn't the games that they lost while he was in high school, it was against teams that were equal to them and he was not up for the competition because I mean he just wasn't. What did Free say? He said the most important thing for them right now was for their quarterback to leave the practice field with confidence. Basically, he was telling his defense to back the fuck off. That it wasn't helpful for them. But yes, he damn sure holds on to the ball. Little Coop has what did you just call it? Mushy brain or whatever, Dave? That's a little Coop's got a smooth brain or no brain. He was not. It was not. It. That's what I would have been saying, and that's what I'd be telling him to his damn face. Nut up and go get it done. Quit being a bitch. But that doesn't really work with him. It's not what he's used to doing, man. And I'm just telling you when it comes. And I'm not trying to sit here and just dog Jackson. That's not. I think that he just. I mean, look. I just don't think he's that dude. He doesn't have that in him to be that guy. If you take one step backwards and then another one backwards, you can back the fuck up. Or yeah, take your top lip, connect it to your bottom lip. You will shut the fuck up. Thank you, Neilio. Damn it, I need to get that thing right. It's not true. You don't pay attention to the defense whatsoever, and you're full of shit. I can sit here and tell you that I like Michael Taft. Think he's a great player. I think Ant Hill, unbelievable player. I think he's one of the top 2 or 3 defensive players in the country. Colin Simmons, I like him. I think he's going to be a first rounder too. I don't think that much of the rest of your defense, but I can tell you that those 3 guys are legit. If you can't sit there and look at the defense that Oklahoma has and know that they're legit, a number 1 defense in the country, then you don't pay attention. You're full of shit. That's what it is. Let's see. I don't see it here. Yeah, with Marvin Jones, I mean, he was a 5-star guy. His dad was an NFL stud. Chances are, I don't know what's going to end up. I mean, I've been hearing he's been really good, but you kind of have to wait and see. This shit ain't working. Man, I can't get it to work. If it is mental, if it is mental, he can fix it. If they have the right kind of support, and you have to. But you look, if it's a mental thing, those are the tough things to do. Though, if you don't already have that, that's what I'm saying. The difference in him and like Mateer, it's like you think about Baker and what Baker was like. He got a chip on his shoulder when people were coming at him. Even, and I'm not just talking with their mouth. When people were pressing him during games and stuff like that, that gets him competitive. You know, that's what you need from him. He was afraid. Look, all I do is go back to the game last year, go back and watch that exchange between him and Deion Burks on the sideline in the Missouri game. Deion Burks was screaming at him to throw the fucking ball down the field. And those words, throw the fucking ball. I'm open. And he's doing this and explaining why he's not going to throw it. And what did he do? He ends up booting one off of his knee when nobody was even on him. He didn't even need to be leaving the pocket. And he did. And he leaves and boots the ball off his knee. They scoop and score. It made no sense. It made no sense. I'm not saying that their defense isn't going to be legit. When did I say that? I said that they're not as good as Oklahoma's, and they're not. They're not. And I think that they're liable to be a little soft at the middle. I don't think you're going to notice that except against those certain teams. The ones that I've been talking about. I think there's a lot to do. Oh no, you're right about that. I'm not talking at all about I think Marvin Jones, that's all I've been hearing too, is that he's been really good. Well, and Chavis was talking about it the other day when he was out there. He was loving on him. Baylor is liable to whoop Auburn's ass, and that's like I said. I don't know that Jackson ends up being the starter when by the time week 4 rolls around. I think it's Deuce Knight's job. Yeah, that's exactly right. True, Ogie, you're not wrong. But and that was a throw it over the middle just to get it out deal, and he shouldn't have thrown it. Yeah, he was. Yeah, it was a bad. That was a bad throw, and that just tells you he didn't want to throw the ball when he was streaking down the fucking field. He wouldn't throw that one, but he wanted to throw him across the middle into a safety like that. It's the dumbest shit ever. Yeah, he was a good offensive lineman at Oklahoma. Really good. There was a few of them. David Pollock was one. Cole Kublik was another. I don't know. They like him. They like him a lot, and but I actually heard the last couple of days that Marvin Jones has been killing it. Yeah, I suspect that he does. I need Texas to beat OSU. Where's our guy that's in here from OSU all the time? He's been saying he said that they'll take care of Texas, but we need to take care of y'all. That's funny stuff. I love rivalries. That's a good one. Like it. Like it. What won't happen? Oh, he's not gonna Benji. He's not gonna give that up. Is there a legit number one NFL guy on the roster? Yeah, I think. Look, wait till you see Giovanni Gibson, man. And he's coming back from that broken leg. That dude is the real deal. And he was a FCS guy, played in HBCU. Giovanni Gibson is the real deal. Uh, the, Another one that I'd say a legit guy, a young dude, Elijah Thomas, legit guy. Yeah, Oklahoma doesn't struggle with getting receivers. You do realize that, right? Hmm. Oh, Danny Okoye? Yeah, he's a number one. He's a first rounder type of dude too. There's another one. Thank you, Bob. Yeah. What's this coming from, Dave? Yeah. It's not just Kublik that said it though. ET going to get some run this season? Or are they looking to redshirt him? I don't think they're going to redshirt him. I don't think so. I think he's. I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play. I think they're going to redshirt the other freshman if they can. Fall weddings should definitely be banned. What's wrong with people? Why would you do that? Why would you do that when you have the whole summer? That's not the right. He wasn't great there. He says, I'll answer it for him if I haven't seen it hit there yet. He says, looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane. But I think there's a difference in like, uh, look, I don't know what happened or why he was like that at Georgia. Last year he was looking good for a while, but then I mean I think Florida State was so bad that it just didn't. It wasn't good for anybody. They were firing people left and right. Yeah, it is kind of is what it is. With the portal, I think red shirting is in the past. There's not a ton of it as much. I think that if you can work certain positions where I think there's some that still can though, but a lot of times it would probably more happen, Hank. I think you're probably right. If maybe an injury could keep you doing it. You're not seeing anything because you can't see, little Coop. You're a dumbass. Pay attention. Pay attention. You're not paying attention. Trench player, red shirts, those happen. Absolutely. I think you're right. Offensive lineman, defensive lineman, both of them. You have to put on so much weight, because even in the best high school programs, most of those guys aren't going to be 300 pounders when you get them. And if you stack it on too quick, injuries happen. Not to mention, there's a learning curve. The speed is different. Most of these guys, even 5-star guys, they don't go up against other guys like that in high school. Very rarely. Very rarely. And even like you look at a guy like Michael Fasusi. I think that everybody would love to see. I hope we don't see him much this year. And it's because I would rather you don't throw a brand new freshman lineman in at left tackle because the learning and as good as I think he's going to be, I think you can hurt him like that. But I think they're going to be okay. I think he's probably going to play some. I don't know that I end up seeing him as a starter. I think you probably get Foji more because he's playing guard and he's a monster too. Yeah, you stupid. No, I don't think you just start him immediately. Now listen, if I'm just telling you, I think that there's levels to it, and one thing I know about Bill Beatonbow, he's not going to put you out there unless you're ready for it. And you want to talk about, I mean, I think Onikuno said it very well last night. It was good to hear. It's good to hear coming out of there and seeing some of where like R. Mason kind of slapped him around a little bit and kind of dominated his ass when he's been up against him. R. Mason's been in college football for 3 years. Bro, you're full of shit, bro. At some point, you're going to need to figure it out. Bye, Felicia. Kwiatkowski or Kwiatkowski. Pete Kwiatkowski is who he's talking about. The DC at Texas. No, no, I don't think they should. I don't think they should. And look, I'm not telling you that he's not going to play. I think he's going to play some, but I don't think that I don't know that you. It's a good thing if he's a starter. I think they've got plenty of tackles, man. They do. And again, I think nobody's really talked about Isaiah really, but he's been hurt since the spring. He had that little knee thing. Nothing big, nothing and I think he's getting right back into it. Beanbo expects a lot out of him. And I think that he's going to do good things. There's a reason why they paid to keep him. I really do. Oh, of course he's not going to be there 4 years. Yeah, I listen, man. I mean, one person that whatever I'll put it to you like this: if I'm going to trust anybody's judgment on that, it's going to be Big Bill. I think he'll put him out there when he thinks he's ready for it, whenever that may be, and I'll defer to him. He knows a hell of a lot more about that shit than I do. You're full of shit. No, your eyes may not lie, but you do. Yeah, but yeah, I agree with you there. Well, and like when we talk about EPL, Eddie Pierre Louis, he's the guy that they're expecting to be the starter at left guard. He didn't come in until the summer though last year, which is why he didn't play a ton. But when he got in, he looked really good. It takes that time, and if you come in on as an early enrollee, you got a better shot of doing it. And both of those guys did, by the way. Both of those guys did. I'm not saying you're not going to see him. I think you probably will. I just don't. I just don't see him being a starter. At least not early. At least not early. And to me, I mean, I think there's enough depth that you don't have to push him into. You shouldn't have to push him into service ahead of schedule. Let him develop, man. Let him cook. He's being paid. They're not going to not pay him. Let him get there. Let him be ready. But when you talking about Isaiah, 6'7", over 300 pounds. He's the biggest guy on the team. You know, he's going to cause it. And I think that Fasusi's going to be fantastic. I agree. I think he's. They say he's that next big number one guy. Maybe there's other guys there too. I don't know that. I don't know if Sexton's going to be a number one first rounder. I don't think he goes past the second though. Um, I think it depends. I think that Dent is the first round potential. Even I don't care what he came in as ranking wise. The guy's a monster and he moves good. All you got to go look at the Mississippi Alabama All Star game. That they've been doing that for years and years, and they put on average like I think he said 13 guys per year that played in that game get drafted, and he didn't lose a rep the entire week of that All Star game. The reason that he wasn't ranked as high was because he stopped going on visits after he committed to Oklahoma, and he was almost a top 100 guy whenever he did that. They dropped him all the way back to a 3-star. It is what it is. Again, we know that shit isn't there's. It's not just a. Yes, I've been hearing that too. Akinkumi, Daniel Akinkumi, Boomesune. I like that guy. He's good. He's a big boy. Big boy. I think he's going to be good, man. I think he's going to be really good. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think. Well, and even like I think I I know that Afalava. See, Mason was talking about that he thinks he could end up being a red shirt guy. He got his knee scoped in the spring. I think he's liable to be back, and that dude is a monster, road grader type of guy. Just and got nasty. He's just a nasty dude. I wouldn't be surprised to see a guy like him ending up in one of those spots later in the year either, right? But I think that the guard position, they're not in bad shape there. I don't even think that, I know that Fabichi Wewu had his moments where he wasn't very good last year. I don't think it was as bad as Onikuno said it was last night. I don't. I think he was much better at the end of the year than he was at the start. But it just, you know what I mean? I would tell you that most people aren't paying that much attention to offensive line play. You have to go back and watch it. Even like Spencer Brown, he played really well at the end of the year. Nobody talks about that. He played really well at the end of the year. But it is what it is. No, you don't. You're just bullshitting right now. Stop it. Sexton's been great. Sexton, when he's in, he's been really good. He was doing just fine at tackle last year. When he took over when Tyler Guyton was dinged up those last few games of the year the 2 years ago, and he ended up playing tackle for him and dominant. He was just as good. I think Jacob Sexton's a dog. You're just mad at him because he's a legacy for Texas and didn't go to Texas. Don't be a hater. 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 Yeah, I love it. A beachy way woo. And people even forget about that dude was another. He was a freshman All American. He's been real good since he's been in college. He had some bad games early. Give up one play. I mean, the truth is, I would tell you, most people that are talking shit about Fabechi Wehu couldn't tell you where he fucked up. They wouldn't be able to point out a play. Yes, he is. And yes, he does. Liar. Fair. Good enough. All right, guys. Thank you, Ryman Lehman. Yep. There is a reason. There is a reason. I believe it. I mean, if out of everybody, out of all those coaches, and this would even include Coach Venables, out of every coach on that staff, I trust Big Bill to do his job more than I trust anybody else. He's the position coach wise, it isn't close. It's just not close. So, and I think that there's a bunch of really good coaches, by the way. I think I would hire any one of those coaches they have, except for maybe Joe John. But I would hire any coach at Oklahoma if I was a coach. Any one of them. But I think Big Bill's the best one. So appreciate it. Yes, Delio, I'll be back tomorrow evening, maybe tonight. I'll let you guys all know. Just check it all out. But hey, it's a good reason to make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of them. I think apparently Big Bogue said he's been getting notified about them now, and he hadn't been at all. So the shadow ban could be lifted. Make sure you're sharing the stream with everybody else. We got lots of stuff coming down the way. Excited about it, about some of the things we're going to be doing, man. There's man, I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun, man. But appreciate everybody coming in. Make sure you hit that like button, share the stream. We've got 3 weeks left to try to make up that other 500 subs. I think that's tough. It's a tough ask, but we could do it. Let's see, how many do we have total? Let's see. Oops. I'll have to look. Anyway, I think we're still about 460 short or something like that. So it's going to be tough to get there. But if we do, we'll be giving away 2 free copies of the new college football game. Whether you have an Xbox or a PlayStation, we'll get it to you either way. But we got to get there first, so share the stream with your friends that like college football. We like to interact no matter what. Check out our pod merch store as well, hofmedia.us/pod-merch. We got lots of cool new designs in there as well. That's a great one. And hey, you should be gearing up if you want licensed gear. Check out all these hats behind me and stuff. And got new shirts, new everything. There's no reason that you shouldn't be gear ready, whoever your team is. hofmedia.us/fanatics. hofmedia.us/fanatics. Get the best deals of the day, no matter what. You can get it on our Fanatics partner store. You're going to get the best deal by using that link. So go in there and check it out. Make sure you don't go into the season with crappy old stuff that doesn't look good anymore. And you can even get old school looking stuff, but it should be new. Get it from Fanatics. We'd appreciate it. All right, guys. The free way to help us, just hit the damn like button. All right, guys. We'll see you all on the next one. Hey, Jason Watkins here with Hall of Fame College Football. And if you are ready to back your favorite team, the Sooners, and fade that Texas hype train every Saturday this fall, there's only one place to do it, MyBookie. Right now, you can double your first deposit up to $1,000 when you sign up at hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. That's hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. Yep, 100% deposit bonus, and it takes less than 5 minutes to get started. Whether you're betting college football, rolling the dice in the online casino, or dropping a 10-leg parlay on SEC Chaos, MyBookie has everything you need. Bet anytime, anywhere, on the go, at the tailgate, or yelling at the refs from your couch. Just don't talk trash. Put your money where your mouth is. Hit that link, hofmedia.us/mybookie1000, and get your deposit bonus today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie and Hall of Fame College Football. Are you tired of your game day gear looking like it's stuck in the offseason? Well, step up your fandom with Hall of Fame College Football's official Fanatics partner store. Whether you're a diehard Oklahoma Sooners fan like myself, bleeding crimson and cream, or you rep another one of the SEC's heavy hitters, Fanatics has you covered. Shop thousands of officially licensed hats, jerseys, sideline polos, and exclusive championship merch from the entire Power 4 and Group of 6 too, all shipped directly to your doorstep and fast. You want to gear up like your favorite coaches and players? Are you looking for that perfect tailgate tee or a statement piece for your man cave? Fanatics is your one-stop shop for authentic college football gear from everybody that plays the game. So do yourself and your team a favor. Click our link in the description or simply log on to hofmedia.us/fanatics. That's hofmedia.us/fanatics. And you can shop everything that you want for the best prices of the day right on our Fanatics partner page.